It's very important that you understand that only God can do the impossible. And whatever you're facing, whatever your problem is right now, whatever you went through, whatever the devil's told you, God's got the answer. Ain't that right, sis? Hi, John. Mad at me? You love me? I love you too. Hi, Gwen. Hi, Wayne. Come here. Everybody tell you today they love you? I want you to know I do too. God told me to do something before I even got to the microphone. And I want you to tell the people what just happened since the last time you came to this church. Bring us up to date. Tell the people what's happened.
Lost 97 pounds of weight.
How much?
97. And Pastor Bob's a warrior. And he's more than a friend. He's too young to call a dad, but I look at him that way. And there's no need to go anywhere else when you've got this right here. And all, Rev's members, we've sat in Delaware and we've heard Rev say, when you don't miss the well till the water runs dry. We love Rev and we know he's got things to do, but that applies to this too. That applies to this too, because where would you be today if Pastor Bob wasn't here? What church would you be listening to? And I was in the hospital this week, and there was a man across the hall from me. They put me on the cancer floor, and the first thing they told me when I first went, I thought it was just a bum gallbladder or something. And they run me through this little donut thing, and one doctor didn't say a whole lot, but he sure gave me the lot and put me out of the world. But the other doctor came, and instead of telling me something good, he goes, prepare for the worst. And, well. And when Glitter called me, he said, how you doing? And I said, first thing he told me was, fear not. And I said, they told me to prepare for the worst. And he said, I'm telling you to prepare for the best. And I needed to have somebody tell me, because I know I've seen God raise people up. I thank God for our ministry, because there's a whole lot of people that have never seen a miracle ever in their life, and you tell them God does miracles, and they look at you like you are nuts. And I'm so thankful for our ministry, because it's the times you look back on, because you know that God can heal you of anything. Anytime He knows when you're talking to Him. He knows every hair on your head, and He brings all them things back to remembrance. When you need lifted up, God brings all the little things like a little rerun in your mind. I remember the woman laying on the floor in Delaware, and Rev just walked over and sat down. And there was ushers had to help her up, and I don't know what was wrong with her, but God healed her of it, whatever it was. But he went over and sat down. I thought, what in the world are you doing? And he just sat there because he didn't want her to figure out, get up. And when she thought, well, it's either die or get up, she decided to get up, and I'm telling you, she let loose a scream. And I thought I heard angels singing in the right-hand corner back there. And God touched that woman. And I thought of that. I think of them things. And it's easy for me to go and say, God, God can heal you. There's nothing that God can't heal you of. But when it falls on your doorstep and you know that, I don't know how to separate that. I haven't learned that yet, because I know God can heal you of anything, and there's nothing too hard for God. But I just don't know how to divide that, because it does scare you. You got doctors with degrees hanging off them from here to now on. Prepare for the worst. And they ain't done another thing to me. But what I got sidetracked, I'm sorry. But that man across the hall, there's people in there all the time. And I sit there in the bed, and he was in there telling this man, this preacher is trying to help, and he was telling about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And we've all read that. It's a good story, read it if you ain't. And it just kind of lacked something. It didn't have the fire in it. And he's sitting there telling the story, and I just kind of drifted off. And I was sitting there while he's telling him, I was sitting there singing, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego had no fear of the fiery coal, for they were holding to the master's hand. And I got more out of that little song right there than I got out what he's saying, and I thought, oh, how blessed we are to have a ministry that has power behind it, and that teaches us that we don't have to go to the ministry or get a hold of this one or that one even though it's good. Rev always brought us up to know the things that he does, that God lets him do, we can do, so that when we run up on somebody, we can say, I know God can touch you, because I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. Rob came to me one day, and I know it had to be cancer. It was one of the cancer days. And I had two like little craters on my skin. And I kind of hide it a little bit. It was ugly. It looked like little moon craters. I don't know how to describe it to you, but it was skin cancer. And he told me there's going to be two things leave your body this day. And I had already prayed for me a few months before, and I thought, the Lord's got something else wrong with me. And I thought, there's a lot more sick people in here. But I didn't say nothing. I thanked him and, cried, did my thing. When I went out to the car with my friend, I had a Lincoln, and I put my hand up there to put the ignition, the key in the ignition, and I looked, and them dots, there's two little itty-bitty little tiny white dots. Them craters was gone. God healed it that fast. Amen. I didn't even think about them little dots when he did that, but God healed my hand, and it ain't never been back, and it ain't going to. Amen. So, but that's about where it's at. I'm waiting for my biopsy results to come back negative. Monday or Tuesday, whenever they get a hold of me. And the pain that I went in with, they didn't do a thing for it. But I couldn't take a deep breath without it catching. And sometimes it's here, sometimes it's not, but not as bad as it was. And all they did was poke on me and run me through. But I know that it's not over till God says it's over. And what I really hate is seeing my mom have to worry. Because, she just, Mom. And I really didn't want to tell her about any of it, but you got to tell her she's going to be everywhere going wild. So you just tell her the best you can tell her. And so she's just been staying home a lot and sleeping. I don't want to worry her. She's mom. And, but God's able to do whatever you need him to do. And if you don't ever do anything else, know that you got a pastor that loves you, and he is a warrior, and he can agree with you on anything that you could ever possibly want to pray for. And if you can't get a hold of him, you've always got God. You don't need somebody. That you don't even have to pray. God knows your heart. He's already got an answer before you even can speak it. And just living as long as I've lived and not had to take no pills, never been in a hospital for anything. Ask if you had surgery. Most I've ever had done is 2 wisdom teeth pulled, because I only had 2 to begin with. They go, you're not on any medication? No, ma'am. You're not taking anything? No, ma'am. My blood pressure has been perfect. Drawing blood for me 4 times a day. It's perfect. And the doctor called me a puzzlement to them. He called me that. When did I get up? Friday morning. He goes, well, we're going to do the liver biopsy. And I said, can it just feel like a fatty tumor or something? And he said, could be. He goes, right now you're a puzzlement to us. And I said, good, I hope I remain a puzzlement to you. I didn't know what else to say. I said, just let me go. Stab me, jab me, and get me out of here. So that's what he did. I got X marks the spot. And if y'all think I'm lying, look, I tried to wash it off, but Sharpies don't come off. There's a little X there. And they'll sure jab you and take your stuff. They will.